This episode is powered by Poddex. Poddex.
Comic books, sci-fi. Yeah, I'm having to re-add my microphone back into my settings here. Because for some reason, I don't know why. Every frickin' scene. My pre-show lost my camera. Okay, let's find my camera. Camera, where are you? Right here. There we go.
Are you itching for a good story? Laughter among friends, maybe even a mystery or two? Well, you're...
I think.
COVID-19, better known as coronavirus.
Hey everyone, well thanks me. Now it's time for an interview.
It all went to hell.
I'd like to thank you for listening to this. Do this. Okay. Show close. There's the plea for money. DC, Marvel, Star Wars. Comic books. Star Trek. Comic books. Pre-show. I have 2 of those. Okay, folks. I'll be back in a minute. If you notice, I don't have my backdrop up yet. I gotta put that up. So, well, we're almost ready. So just hang out. Talk amongst yourself. I know there's only one of you, but the dog is puking on the floor. Butters. I suppose I could produce the show without the backdrop. But my wife has a thing about people seeing the house because she thinks I'm messy. I admit I'm messy. Yeah, I'll admit to that. Right All right, sitting down. Up here. Bring the backdrop. Make sure the lighting's not ridiculous. I think my lighting's okay. I'm not too washed out. Let's adjust it though. That's better. Maybe this. Switch to a whiter light. Go down a couple of notches. That would look better, not washed out. Well, I say we get this on the way. Stream manager up. Get thing in. My stream deck really needs updated, but I'm going to wait because I bought myself with some of the stimulus money a brand new Stream Deck XL, the one with 32 buttons on it. So I'll have plenty of buttons because I like the Stream Deck and the Stream Deck Mini, but it would be nice to have them all on one Stream Deck instead of kind of split between the two. Okay. It's a trap. All right. We're here. Ready to go. Trade my screens here. I hate getting off late like this. Alright, we're ready for the sci-fi edition. Now, just go here, push record. Tonight, it's a new year. On tonight's show, Disney stops royalty payments, James Doohan's ashes take a secret adventure, and remember Don Wells, and many others. All that and more on the sci-fi edition of Multiverse Tonight. Comic books, sci-fi, fantasy, and more. If you're looking for a roundup of geeky news, you're in the right place. This is Multiverse Tonight. And here's your host, Thomas Townley. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 108 and the first episode of 2021. Now, let's just hope that this year is better than 2020 was. Let's hope that, we finally get the pandemic under control and we finally get to go to conventions and maybe go out and see movies in theaters. Not that seeing movies at home isn't bad, but I don't think you get the the sense of magnanimity that you do in the theater. Theaters are just big. I mean, sure, you get yourself the largest, like a 70-inch, 80-inch screen, that fills up the entire wall of your house. But yeah, I'd rather see movies with other people. I'm not going to talk really much about the craziness in the United States right now. That's something for a political show to do. But look, fortunately, I think things will calm down now. They're taking care of things. We're just a little over a week until the inauguration, so I'm hoping for the best. But you didn't subscribe to hear me ramble on about politics or ramble on about what's going on in my life. Really, you're here for news. So let's start with the Star Wars news. The big Star Wars News Story Initiative, the High Republic, will have an exclusive storyline just for the Chinese market. Now, this is growing out of the partnership that Lucasfilm and Tencent started way back in 2019. These web novels by a Chinese author known by the nom de plume of His Majesty the King will be set during the twilight of the High Republic era and will have the English title of Star Wars The Vow of Silver Dawn. Now, it will be about a young Padawan named Shan. According to a video on the Chinese social media platform Weibo, James Hua, Lucasfilm's vice president of franchise content and strategy, said, quote, "Shan is a character with a secret. His origins have always been shrouded in mystery. He ends up being very much torn between his duties to the Jedi Council, to his master, and to his own interests," unquote. Now, there are no plans to release this story into English, but I'd say give it time. They'll probably release it. Now, the release of The Mandalorian's second season finale caused Disney Plus to have a brief outage. Fans who started streaming right after midnight began reporting error messages that said, quote, we're currently experiencing slow internet connection speeds. Please check to see that you are still connected to the internet and try again. Error code 76, unquote. Now, fortunately, the outage just lasted a few minutes, and soon fans are back watching the adventures of Din Djarin. Now, Season 3 will not arrive till early 2022 after the Boba Fett show. The Boba Fett show. That sounds like he should be doing a talk show. It's the Boba Fett show with Cy Snules on keyboards. Anyway, on the subject of the Boba Fett show, titled The Book of Boba Fett, Variety, The Book of Boba Fett. Wait a minute, shouldn't that be a book, not a show? Anyway, Variety reports that the series will be set to debut in 2021 and will have the creative team of Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni, and Robert Rodriguez. Now, the series will be set during the same timeline as The Mandalorian and will feature Tamura Morrison as Boba Fett and Ming-Na Wen as Fennec Shand. Star Wars writers are up in arms after royalty checks for their work have abruptly stopped since Disney took over. According to a report in the Wall Street Journal, the authors claim that Disney has refused paying royalties on book contracts after Disney took over Lucasfilm in 2012. The writers say that Disney has either delayed dealing with the authors or have sent them measly checks that are way short of what is owed. Now, according to the Science Fiction and Fantasy Writers of America Association, writers of other franchises like Indiana Jones and Buffy the Vampire Slayer have lodged similar complaints. A Disney spokesman told the Wall Street Journal, quote, "We are carefully reviewing whether any royalty payments may have been missed as a result of acquisition integration and will take appropriate remedial steps if that is the case," unquote. Well, let's hope this is resolved. These people wrote these books. If there's a contract, on the Fox side that says they're owed money, they're owed money. Let's just, give them their due. Now, this piece is really short. Kevin Feige's Star Wars movie has found a writer, and they didn't have to look very far. They chose Loki writer and executive producer Michael Waldron for the job. So, bravo, Michael. I hope that we get to see something really great out of this partnership. A little bit of sad news. Star Wars voice actor Tom Kane has suffered a stroke, according to his family. In a statement, Tom's daughter Sam wrote, quote, "Hi everyone, this is Tom's daughter Sam. Our family wanted to share why my dad has been MIA. About 2 months ago, he had a left side stroke that gave him right side weakness and damage to the speech center of his brain. This means right now he cannot effectively communicate verbally nor read or spell. Now, he's still competent and very much himself, but can only get out a few words right now. As many of you might know about strokes, it is possible for him to gain these functions back, and we have found an excellent care in Kansas City for speech, occupational, and physical therapy. But for now, we have been warned by his neurologist that he may not do voiceovers again." Unquote. Now, Kane is best known for voicing Yoda, Admiral Yularen, and the narrator on the Star Wars Clone Wars series, as well as voicing Woodhouse on Arthur and Professor Utonium on the Powerpuff Girls, and many, many other characters. His IMDb credits are long. Now, he most recently gave voice to Yoda and Qui-Gon Jinn in the LEGO Star Wars Holiday Special. Our hopes for him to have a speedy recovery. And this is very personal. Sci-Fi for me. If you ever listen to any of their shows, they use him as the opening voiceover. Or this is Sci-Fi for me. So yeah, I'm sure they, along with myself, are hoping for his speedy recovery. Now let's go on to the Star Trek news.
This episode is powered by Pod Decks. Pod Decks are unique interview questions and episode starting prompts in the palm of your hand. So whether you're a new podcaster or existing broadcaster looking to grow your audience and have more meaningful conversations, you're going to want to check out Pod Decks. Now, if you want to get 10% off your order right now, you can go to poddecks.com and type in coupon code
Multiverse.
What's the code?
Multiverse.
Yes, that's the code. Check out poddecks.com. Take your podcast to the next level.
And I'd like to thank Poddex for being a new affiliate for the show. They're a great service. You got one of their little decks right here. You get questions that you can ask other people, like, what are you currently curious about? What do you value most in your friends? What is your most treasured possession? So this is a great resource if you're someone who can't really, who has trouble thinking of questions on the fly when you're interviewing someone. So you can just, basically whip this out. You can make this a game. So, thanks to them for helping us out. And we start the Star Trek news with the rest of the world that will finally get to watch Star Trek Lower Decks. The first season of the animated series will premiere on Amazon Prime overseas on January 22nd. Now, Amazon Prime is also the home of Star Trek Picard. So, I hope you guys over in the other countries, watch the show and love the show as much as I love the show. I'm really looking forward to season 2. The ashes of Star Trek's James Doohan were smuggled aboard the International Space Station 12 years ago. They were brought aboard by space tourist Richard Garrett. Now, Mr. Garrett is an entrepreneur and video game developer. He created the Ultima game series under the pen name of Lord British. Garrett came clean about the mission to bring Scotty to space in an interview with The Times, saying, quote, "It was completely clandestine. His family were very pleased that the ashes made it up there, but we were all disappointed we didn't get to talk about it publicly for so long. Now enough time has passed that we can. As far as I know, no one has ever seen it there, and no one has moved it. James Doohan got his resting place among the stars," unquote. Now, Doohan's family had already been denied twice when they contacted Richard just days before he left for a 12-day visit. James Doohan passed away in 2005 from complications from pulmonary fibrosis. Now, oddly enough, this isn't the last time the author's ashes have been launched into space. Some ashes were sent aboard into space on the Spaceloft XL rocket for a 4-minute suborbital flight, and in 2012, an urn with his ashes was placed aboard a Falcon 9 rocket during the second test flight of the Dragon crew cargo capsule. So it's that was a nice gesture, and I hope his ashes stay there for quite some time. Emperor Jojo is off on her next big adventure after exiting Star Trek Discovery's 32nd century in a recent episode. Now, speaking on the Ready Room after the show, actress Michelle Yeoh said about her exit, quote, "It wasn't always planned this way. It came to a point where it was necessary if we were to go on more journeys with Emperor Jojo that some things have to happen," unquote. Now, she was also about the Section 31 spinoff was kind of coy, saying, quote, "It was very obvious that Emperor Jojo's journey has not ended. It has not come to an end." And she went on by saying, quote, "But it depends on whether it will end abruptly. I loved when she walks through the portal and she realizes, oh my god, I am dressed as a turned emperor, and I can see all my soldiers in front of me expecting the badass emperor. And you can see in her eyes she has changed dramatically and drastically," unquote. Now, frankly, I still question why they brought her into the future in the first place. Because it basically stopped the third season's story progress almost dead by having to deal with this dying Giorgio and, having to revisit the mirror universe one more time. Now, she should have been left in the past at the end of season 2. That being said, I hope that she got dropped off in the time period between the original series and the Next Generation, because that would give them a period of time where they're not interfering in the original series stories, they're not interfering in the Next Generation series stories. There's that big bulk of time between the two that they could drop her in and have her go on stories and adventures that wouldn't affect the shows following it in continuity. So that's my take. So what does the season finale of Discovery mean to the future of the show? Now, I'm going to tell you, but basically I'm not going to have any spoilers in this. So this is basically just that. Comicbook.com talked with Discovery's co-runner Michelle Paradise about some things. Now, first off, Doug Jones isn't leaving the show. He'll still be around in season 4. Burnham's new role on the show will and won't make the show feel more like a traditional Star Trek show. Now, there's more in this interview. As I said, was trying to keep it non-spoilery as I can. So go over to comicbook.com and check it out if you want to know what else she said. Now Discovery's over, what next? No, seriously, what's next? Seems like nothing for a while. Picard Season 2 won't be out for quite some time. Same with Lower Decks, Prodigy, Strange New Worlds, and the Section 31 show. Most of those seem to be almost in a embryonic stage. I guess that means I can cancel CBS All Access for a while. Save a few bucks. Now, sure, I could watch a show like the Stand series, but I'm kind of waiting until all the episodes are out to sit down and watch it. It doesn't look like we're anywhere close to the dream of having new Trek every week. Now, does it? No, maybe next year, maybe 2022. They'll hit the ground running, and you'll have a new Star Trek show to watch almost every week, which I'm sure CBS would just love. Anyway, let's go on to the geek news. Sadly, 2020 couldn't leave without taking a few more famous names. The original Boba Fett actor Jeremy Bulloch passed away on December 17th. Now, Jeremy portrayed Boba in The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. He also appeared in The Revenge of the Sith as Captain Colton. Now, Jeremy had a long career in other things, not Star Wars, between 1958 and 2018, mainly British movies and TV shows. Now, he had a bit part in the James Bond movies, The Spy Who Loved Me, as an HMS Ranger crewman, and in For Your Eyes Only and Octopussy as Smithers. He appeared in 3 episodes of the classic Doctor Who in 1965's The Space Museum episodes and 1973's The Time Warrior episodes. He appeared in 8 episodes of Robin of Sherwood as Edward of Wickingham. He made frequent appearances at sci-fi conventions throughout the world and was made an honorary member of the 501st Legion in 2009. Now, unfortunately, he had to stop in 2018 after his Parkinson's got too bad. He died from complications of Parkinson's in Tooting, England. Jeremy Bulloch was 75 years old, and I know how his loved ones are feeling. My mother too died from complications of Parkinson's, so my heart goes out to them. A group of scientists from Caltech, which is a collaboration of Fermilab, AT&T, University of Calgary, Harvard University, and NASA's Jet Propulsion Lab, have announced that they have successfully transported basic units of quantum information known as qubits over 22 kilometers of fiber between the Caltech and Fermilab quantum networks. Now, this is not the same as transporting physical matter like Star Trek's transporter. This achievement would create quantum networks that revolutionize the future of computer speed, power, and security. Now, in an email statement, the head of the quantum science program at Fermilab, Panginosis Spentosaurus, wrote, quote, "We wanted to push the envelope for this type of research and take important steps on a path to realize both real-life applications for quantum communications and networks and test fundamental physics ideas. So when we finally did it, the team was elated, very proud for achieving these high-quality, record-breaking results. And we are very excited that we can move to the next phase utilizing the know-how and the technologies from this work towards the deployment of quantum networks. There are many fronts that we need to push forward, both in applications of quantum communication and network technologies, and in advancing the engineering of the systems. We are already working hard on developing architecture, processes, and protocols for quantum networks, and on optimizing along some metrics, including rate of communications and range." Unquote. Now that sounds very exciting. Wonder where that will end up. Theaters and other live event venues will be getting some relief with the latest COVID relief bill that Congress just passed. The bill includes $15 billion for live event venues, independent movie theaters, and cultural institutions. This part of the bill was based on the Save Our Stages Act and will provide financial support to live theaters, movie theaters, and including some chains, though larger movie theater companies like AMC and Cinemark will have to look elsewhere for financial support as the pandemic continues to impact their businesses. However, a somewhat controversial part of the bill also makes illegal streaming for profit a felony punishable by up to 10 years in prison. So it's unknown exactly how this will hurt streaming platforms like Twitch and other platforms. Now, a new sequel to The Exorcist is in the works. The Hollywood Reporter reports that Halloween filmmaker David Gordon Green is in talks to direct the movie for Blumhouse and Morgan Creek Films. Green's Halloween was a box office success, making $255.8 million on a $10 million budget. Now, Green also has 2 other sequels in the works for Halloween and on his plate, which is Halloween Kills, which is due out in this year in 2021, and Halloween Ends, due in 2022. The Critics' Choice Awards were last night. I'm not really a big fan of the Critics' Choice Awards, but I'm not going to go over like every single category, but I will tell you that Soul won Best Animated Movie, and also got Best Voice Actor in Animated Movie nod for Jamie Foxx. Tina Fey also got Best Voice Actress in an Animated Movie for Soul. The Best Superhero Movie was The Old Guard on Netflix. The Best Actor in a Superhero Movie was Ewan McGregor for Birds of Prey, and Margot Robbie got Best Actress in a Superhero Movie also for Birds of Prey. The Best Horror Movie was The Invisible Man. The Best Actor in a Horror Movie was Vince Vaughn for Freaky, and Best Actress in a Horror Movie was Elizabeth Moss for The Invisible Man. The Best Science Fiction Fantasy Movie was Palm Springs on Hulu. And that film also got Andy Samberg the Best Actor in a Sci-Fi nod, and Kristen Milotti the Best Actress in a Science Fiction movie nod. Best Villain in the movie was James Carey in Sonic the Hedgehog. The Best Actor in a Action Series was Daveed Diggs for Snowpiercer. The Best Animated Series was BoJack Horseman on Netflix. The Best Voice Actor in an Animated Series was Will Arnett for BoJack. The Best Actress in an Animated Series was Kelly Cuoco for Harley Quinn. Best Superhero Series was The Boys on Amazon. The Best Actor in a Superhero Series was Anthony Starr for The Boys. Cash on The Boys got Best Actress in a Superhero Series. Best Horror Series was Lovecraft Country. Best Actor in a Horror Series was Jensen Ackles for Supernatural. Best Actress in a Horror Series, Journey Smollett got that for Lovecraft Country. The Best Science Fiction Fantasy Series was The Mandalorian. And the Best Actor in a Science Fiction Fantasy Series was Patrick Stewart for Star Trek Picard. Best Actress in a Science Fiction Fantasy Series was Natasha Dimitrou for What We Do in the Shadows on FX. And Best Villain in a Series was Anthony Starr on The Boys. Congratulations to all the winners. And we go back to a sad point here. A visual effects consultant, supervisor, and producer Edward Irastorza, who is best known for working with Guillermo del Toro on multiple projects, has passed away on December 21st. Now, Edward had worked on such TV series as Grimm, Teen Wolf, Xena, Warrior Princess, and Hercules' Legendary Journeys, and movies like Blade, Sin City, Hellboy, Pan's Labyrinth, and The Adventures of Shark Boy and Lava Girl in 3D. He was nominated for a BAFTA Award, a Gold Derby Award, and a Satellite Award for his work, but he also won a Goya Award for special effects. Edward Irastorza's brother posted about his passing on Edward's Facebook page, saying, quote, "It is with great sadness that I need to let you know that my brother Edward has passed away. Even though he had been very sick for just over a year, we were not expecting him to go when he did. He was looking forward to Christmas as Eric was going to be with us. Unfortunately, he didn't make it. We would like to ask for a favor. As you, his friends, reflect on your memories of my brother, could you write down some of your stories with him and send them to me? We would love to hear them and put together a keepsake for his son. It's okay if they're not G-rated. Thank you for all for being his friend. He really wanted to go back to work with and be with all of you again. Now he is with the friends that went before him and my dad." Unquote. He was 52 years old. And we also lost Gilligan's Island's co-star, Dawn Wells, who has passed away. The actress, best known for playing Mary Ann in the 60s sitcom about a group of castaways who ended up trapped on the deserted island for a 3-hour tour. Shipwrecked them. Now, Dawn Wells was born on October 18 in 1938 in Reno, Nevada. In 1959, she was crowned Miss Nevada and represented the state in the 1960 Miss America pageant. Now, she soon moved on to Hollywood, making her debut in the ABC series The Roaring Twenties. She would also make appearances in Maverick, Wagon Train, 77 Sunset Strip, Surfside 6, The Joey Bishop Show, and more. And now in 1964, she got the role that would make her famous as Kansas girl Marianne Wells, the exact opposite of fellow castaway Ginger. Now, Tina Louise, who played Ginger on Gilligan's Island, said about Dawn Wells, quote, "I was sad to learn of Dawn's passing. I will always remember her kindness to me. We shared in creating a cultural landmark that has continued to bring comfort and smiles to people during this difficult time. I hope that people will remember her the way that I do, always with a smile on her face," unquote. Now, after the show ended in 1967, she'd go on to do other roles in shows like The Wild Wild West and Bonanza, but nostalgia for the classic Gilligan's Island was strong, and the cast was brought back together for TV movies like Rescue from Gilligan's Island, The Castaways on Gilligan's Island, The Harlem Globetrotters on Gilligan's Island, and the animated series Gilligan's Planet, where she voiced both Marianne and Ginger. She also appeared on The Love Boat, Fantasy Island, and many, many more. Now, beyond acting, she did charity work for Bob Denver's Denver Foundation. She was married in 1962, but the marriage ended in 1967. Don Wells died on December 13th, 2020, at the age of 82 from COVID-related causes. And with that, we come to the end of the sci-fi news. Now, be sure to check us out on social media. We're at Twitter at Multiverse Tom. We're also on Facebook and Instagram as well. And if you'd like to contribute financially to the show, you can do so. And if you'd like to contribute financially to the show, please visit mtpodcast.com to go to the Coffee, Patreon, and Glow.fm links as well. Or just go over to Multiverse Tonight and hit the Support Me link at the top of the page. And be sure to visit multiversetonight.com to check out the affiliate marketplace links, the link to the TeePublic store, our show notes, and so much more. Now, if you're a subscriber, be sure to share us with your friends. And if you're brand new to the show, thank you. And be sure to subscribe. Now, leave us with some feedback. Let me know how we're doing. You know, I can't get better unless I know how bad I am. Special thanks to Shane Ivers for the intro music and Lobo Loco for the outro theme music. Now, thanks for watching the sci-fi edition of Multiverse Tonight. We'll be back in just 2 weeks with a brand new episode, and in a couple days with the comic book edition. Now, please exit the universe in an orderly fashion. Good night. Multiverse Tonight is a production of Half-Baked Genre Productions, copyright 2021, all rights reserved.
Are you itching for a good story? Laughter among friends, maybe even a mystery or two? Well, you're in luck. Fire Breathing Kittens is a standalone Dungeons & Dragons podcast. Each episode is a separate 3-hour-long story, like a movie for your ears, so you can listen to these adventures in any order you like. So, join us on a real play D&D quest as we solve mysteries, attempt comedic banter, and enjoy friendship. Fire Breathing Kittens podcast. Fantasy, action, mystery, friendship.
Alright. That takes care of the sci-fi edition. They're doing a promo. I'm starting promo exchanges this year with other podcasts. This thanks to a new service called Audrey.io. It's a way for it's a podcasting community thing that basically allows me to hook up with other podcasters. Do cross promotion, and Fire Breathing Kittens there was the first one to send me a promo, and I sent them a promo as well. So they'll be using it on using my promo on an upcoming episode. They describe their show as a fiction, leisure, drama, hobbies, video game, comedy, fiction, games podcast. And that each episode's plot is self-contained, so you can listen to adventures in any order. The DM and characters rotate, appearing in some episodes, not others. And it's basically like a standalone Dungeons and Dragons type thing. So, if that interests you, I invite you to check them out as well. You'll also notice the Poddex ad that I ran earlier in the show when I needed to take a drink. That's something new too. As I explained, Poddex is a company that makes cards with questions on them, so you're never at a loss for a question. You can always whip one of these out, and it's a perfect conversation starter. And they have lots of stuff on. Anyway, let's hold on. I gotta gotta fix something. Because when I copied the ending, from the last show I did. So I'm going to fix that. So I want to get to the end of the comic book edition. Make sure. Let's see here. Check us out. Subscriber. Thanks for watching. Yeah. I almost stumbled on the word 2021. That's kind of funny. It's like 2021. It's like it almost got caught in my throat. What can I say? One other thing I want to do here before we get started here. I want, because I'm slightly paranoid, I want to make sure that that last episode recorded the sound. Otherwise, I'm in a world of hurt. Excuse me. They killed all the Hushnock everywhere. Anyway, work's going fine. I started my income taxes yesterday, which that's always an adventure and a half. Well, not an adventure, but it's just clicking through forms. So, and you always want to start work on income taxes as soon as possible, because you don't want other people to try to get your refund before you do. Okay, let's check it out. Tonight, it's a new year. On tonight's show, Disney stops royalty payments. James joins Ashes take a secret adventure. Cut enough so I can talk with you. Stop while swords move approach. Speed Yoda Bond.
More meaningful.
So, we're into the ship where, or isn't it? Just sit down and watch. Stop Calgary Thoris. Now, voice act for the tiny badger. Dixie says, look, try to step out. Tonight, and hit the support link. Let's go and speak to the show. You can do so. That's going to be fun to edit out. And if you'd like to contribute financially to this tonight, just code
Like. So, join us on a real play D&D quest as we solve mystery.
Alrighty then. Well, alright, I've got that out of the way. Where that closed. And we're all set. A 1, a 2, this is how we do. Tonight, CW says no to the new Green Lantern. Try that one again. Tonight, The CW says no to a new Green Arrow show. She-Hulk will be funny, and we remember comic book artist Steve Lightley and others on the comic book edition of Multiverse Tonight. Comic books, sci-fi, fantasy, and more. If you're looking for a roundup of geeky news, you're in the right place. This is Multiverse Tonight. And here's your host, Thomas Townley. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 109 of Multiverse Tonight. I'm, of course, your host, Thomas Townley. And the first comic edition of 2021. I'm so glad to be in 2021. 2020 was just too scary. Have you seen the commercial with 2020 meeting Satan? Yeah, that's a funny little commercial. Didn't do much over Christmas. Yeah, had a nice quiet Christmas. Had a nice quiet New Year's. Pretty much. Nothing changes for me. I'm not big on Christmas. I would like to say happy birthday to my nephew. My nephew just turned 17, so I gotta get his Christmas and birthday presents out. What can I say? I'm not a timely present giver. I'll wait. Why be one of many presents at one time when you can be the one surprising present that shows up later? Think about that. Good thinking, huh? Anyway, you're not here to listen to me ramble on about, nonsense. Let's go on and talk about the DC Comics news. I'm out of practice. I can't talk. Now, DC Comics news starts with the production of Lucifer's 6th season going on despite having 13 positive cases of COVID. Variety reports that the production has racked up 13 cases since November. However, the positive cases are mostly isolated and have not been considered to be part of a larger cluster or outbreak. But again, a lot of shows right now are having start-stop issues with cases getting more active and cases getting up and down and up and down and up and down. So, needless to say, when episodes come out and how episodes come out in 2021 will be an adventure. Green Arrow and the Canaries will not be picked up by the CW. Kind of odd, isn't it? The CW usually picks up anything DC, but nope, they said no this time. Variety broke the news that the series that would have starred Catherine McNamara as Maya Queen, the successor to Oliver Queen's Green Arrow, and would be joined by Kate Cassidy as Laurel Lance, aka the Black Siren, and Juliana Harkavy as Dinah Lance, aka Black Canary, will not go forward. Now, the show did have a backdoor pilot done in the penultimate episode of Arrow. Well, maybe HBO Max could be the home for that. They need original programming. There we go. That might get butts in seats, as it were. DC's animated Justice Society World War II has found its voice cast. According to exclusive to The Hollywood Reporter, the upcoming Justice Society World War II will feature an ensemble cast led by Stana Katic as Wonder Woman and Matt Boomer as The Flash. Now, joining them will be Liza Rotaru as Black Canary, Chris Diamantopoulos as Steve Trevor, Ahmed Abti as Aquaman as Hawkman, Matthew Mercer as Hourman, Armin Taylor, Jay Garrick, Liam McIntyre as Aquaman, Ashley Lathrop as Iris West, Jeffrey Arend as Charles Halstead / advisor, Keith Ferguson as Dr. Fate, and Darren D. Paul as Roosevelt. I'm guessing that's President Roosevelt. Yeah. Now, that joins the multitude of movies of DC animated movies, so it'll be nice to have another one. Now, it appears that there will be no sequel to the Birds of Prey movie. Now, this movie was released back in theaters at the beginning of the pandemic in February, so it's been about a year now. The movie was then quickly moved to HBO Max to try to give it a boost. However, Margot Robbie, in a recent interview, was asked if a sequel was planned, and she said, quote, "I don't know. Nothing imminent at this stage, nothing worth mentioning," unquote. However, that won't be the last we'll see of Margot's Harley Quinn, as the character will appear in James Gunn's The Suicide Squad. And again, that's no definite up or down on whether Birds of Prey sequel is in the works, so, take it for what it's worth. The next phase of the DC Comics universe is set to start in March with Infinite Frontier #0. The comic is a 64-page one-shot with stories by Brian Michael Bendis, James Tynion IV, David Marquez, Aletha Martinez, George Jimenez, Philip Kennedy, Becky Cloonan, and more. Now, writer Joshua Williamson in a statement said, quote, "Infinite Frontier #0 really feels like the beginning of a new era of DC Comics, a time when anything is possible. We're taking the aftermath of Dark Knight's death metal and combining it with the best things we love as storytellers about the DC Universe, resulting in bold, fun, and exciting new directions. There are a lot of teases to new storylines, surprises, and mysteries for the years set up in Infinite Frontier #0 that you won't want to miss," unquote. Now, Infinite Frontier #0 comes out in stores on March 2nd, 2021, and will cost $5.99 for the standard edition and $1 more for the cardstock variant. Now, speaking of new, The Flash will have an all-new creative team beginning with issue number 768. Jeremy Adams will write, and Brandon Peterson will take over on artist duties. The first story arc will see Wally West fighting for redemption following the events of Heroes in Crisis and Dark Knight's death metal. Adams said in a press release, quote, "There's some dispute about who would win in a race against Wally and Barry. But let's just say it's a question that starts this new adventure. I've tried to pour all my excess enthusiasm into writing a story that explores some of the crazy sci-fi elements that Flash books are known for," unquote. Now, the book will hit shelves on March 16th, excuse me. DC has also announced a brand new creative team for Nightwing. Tom Taylor will be taking over for writing, and Bruno Redondo will take over on art. The new arc will see Blue the Haven with a new mayor Zuko, and Nightwing asking for Batgirl's help investigating the new mayor. Dick also has a new 3-legged puppy that he rescues while on patrol one night. Nightwing number 78 will be out on March 16th. Wonder Woman 1984 director Patty Jenkins told the Happy Sad Confused podcast that she almost walked away from the film over a pay dispute. She told them, quote, "I started to walk away. I was going to walk away. I even said I'd be happy to go to another studio and make a quarter as much because it's not a sequel on principle, no problem. It's interesting, as someone who never made any profit in my career up until Wonder Woman, that I was always at peace with it. I was like, hey, I get it. But now I was like, listen, I never made any money in my career because you always had the leverage and I didn't. But now the shoe is on the other foot, so it's time to turn the tables. I don't want to talk about a quota system that's boxed me out, and it's not even true. It was easy to find that all of the men not just had their quotas. They'd make an independent film and then a first superhero movie. They got paid 7 times more than me for the first superhero movie. Then on the second one, they got paid more than me still. It was an easy fight to say, this can't be. It's super can't be. And it really can't be on Wonder Woman. It was an interesting thing to do, but it was an easy thing to do. In fact, I was dead serious. Then I was like, if I can't be victorious in this regard, then I'm letting everyone down. If not me, who? So it became something I became very, very, very passionate about, unquote. Now, speaking of Wonder Woman 1984, the United Kingdom and Ireland will be able to see it via video on demand starting on January 13th. This comes after theaters in the country have been closed due to a new rise in COVID virus infections. Now, Warner Brothers, in a statement, said, quote, "After much anticipation, Wonder Woman 1984 is now out of cinemas in the UK and Ireland. In recognition of varying current market restrictions and to service the massive fan interest in Wonder Woman 1984, this film can be enjoyed by fans and families on the big screen were available in cinemas now, and in the comfort of their own home through premium video on demand in the UK and Ireland starting on January 13th. The film will also be available in cinemas where they are open, whilst also being able to watch at home for a 48-hour rental from participating digital retailers," unquote. Wonder Woman's Gal Gadot has her own thoughts on where the new Wonder Woman should go, and that on the next Wonder Woman movie, and that would be into the present day. She told MTV News, quote, "I wouldn't go like to the 60s or to the 40s with Wonder Woman. I feel like the past has been handled. Well, now it's time to move on," unquote. Zack Snyder has effectively said there will be no encores for Justice League. Director Zack Snyder, discussing his Snyder Cut of the Justice League, was asked if he had any plans for further DCEU movies. He told the host, quote, "Look, I never thought I'd be here doing this. I don't think I'd be finishing Justice League. The truth is, and it's been widely reported, I have no issue. This is an old movie. This is a years-old movie I'm working on. The DC Universe has gone off and branched off and done its own thing, and that's fine. As far as what I did, and as far as what my vision for what I want to do with these characters and the journey I want them to go on, it's well known that I planned on more movies, 5 movies or something, but I'm busy. I've got a lot going on. It is cool that the fans have so much faith in the trajectory. Yes, it's amazing. And I couldn't be happier, and I'm excited for them to see Justice League so they can really drink the entire elixir of Justice League. But will I continue? I have no plan to. But like I said, I didn't think I'd be here, so who knows? Unquote. So I guess that means, if they want him to do more there, they just better back up that dump truck full of money straight to the house. Open up the cellar, have his own little money bin if you want more. Now, speaking of dump trucks full of money, a new report from Bloomberg indicates that Warner Brothers is trying to do good by their filmmakers. Now, they're altering their contracts with partners so they can guarantee payments that aren't contingent on box office numbers. Now, the deal is also said to increase the odds for performance-based bonuses and give cast and crew members additional pay based on revenue collected from HBO Max. Bloomberg reports that the Warner Brothers new deal would give anyone their bonus at half of the normal box office totals needed. So if a movie, say, needed to make $300 million for that bonus, now it would just take $150 million. Adam Raber will be taking the role of media tycoon Morgan Edge on the CW's Superman and Lois. The character is described as, quote, "an intelligent, eloquent, and impassioned self-made mogul whose innate ability to motivate is the means to his success and others' demise," unquote. Now, Rayner's previous TV credits include ABC's The Fix and Notorious. DC movie music is going vinyl with a new partnership between Mondo and Warner Brothers Water Tower Music. First up is Rupert Grison's and Williams' score for 2018 Aquaman. The 3-disc deluxe vinyl release will feature the complete musical score as well as a disc of bonus tracks and remixes. The music will be pressed on 180-gram translucent colored vinyl with splatter. The disc will be packed in a trim-fold jacket featuring all new original artwork from Pascal Blanc. This release will soon be followed by releases for the Shazam film score, the Doom Patrol Season 1 and Season 2 soundtrack, and a reissue of 1978's Superman the movie soundtrack. The Aquaman soundtrack will be released this February for $45. And that will bring us to the end of the DC News and on to the Marvel News.
This episode is powered by Poddex. Poddex are unique interview questions and episode starting prompts in the palm of your hand. So whether you're a new podcaster or existing broadcaster looking to grow your audience and have more meaningful conversations, you're going to want to check out Poddex. Now, if you want to get 10% off your order right now, you can go to poddex.com and type in coupon code
Multiverse.
What's the code?
Multiverse.
Yes, that's the code. Check out poddex.com. Take your podcast to the next level.
I'd like to thank Poddex for that. That little pause for me to refresh myself. And we'll start the Marvel news. On January 6th, the United States Capitol building was attacked by a mob of angry Trump voters after being goaded to do so by the soon-to-be former President of the United States. A number of those rioters that attacked the U.S. Capitol building on January 6th were wearing the skull logo, commonly worn by Marvel's The Punisher, which not only would the character not approve of it, but the Punisher writer Garth Ennis doesn't either. Now, speaking with Sci-Fi Wire, Ennis told them, quote, "I've seen this before a couple of times, but no one actually wants to be the Punisher. Nobody wants to pull 3 hours of duty in a combat zone with the last one going catastrophically wrong, come home with a head full of broken glass, see their families machine gunned into bloody offal in front of their eyes, and then dedicate the rest of their lives to cold, bleak, heartless slaughter. The people wearing the logo in this context are kidding themselves, just like the police officers who wore it over the summer. What they actually want to wear an appropriately scary symbol on the t-shirt, throw their weight around a bit, then go home to the wife and kids and resume everyday life. They've thought no harder about the Punisher symbol than the half-wits I saw on Wednesday, the ones waving the stars and stripes while invading the Capitol building," unquote. You know, perhaps it's time for the Punisher to change his outfit, get a new symbol. You know, maybe we should retire this. You know, it's you know, if that symbol is starting to be associated with hate, then maybe we should put it on a shelf somewhere. Just saying. Okay, I'll get off my soapbox for a minute. Deadpool 3 has been confirmed, and it will be a part of the MCU and R-rated. The news came from an interview with Kevin Feige on Collider. The MCU maker said, quote, "It will be rated R, and we are working on a script right now, and Ryan's overseeing a script right now," unquote. The Ryan he's talking about is, of course, Ryan Reynolds. However, don't expect lightning progress to the sequel, as he also said that the movie won't be underway this year, and that they want to get Deadpool's entry to the MCU just right. Eternals director Chloe Zhao has done much more than direct the movie. She has also written the script. In a promo for her Nomadland film, she said, quote, "I am the writer of the Eternals. The credits just aren't updated yet. I don't know what it would be like if I don't write the films I direct. In the writing process is where I bring in my sensibility. That's a huge part of it. I'm creating situations that will allow certain cinematic language to come in that I've learned on my last 3 films," unquote. Now, Eternals comes out this November in 2021 and stars Angelina Jolie, Kumail Nanjiani, Salma Hayek, and many more. WandaVision will be a 9-episode series according to Marvel Studios. In a press release, they said, quote, "Marvel Studios' WandaVision is a blend of classic television and the Marvel Cinematic Universe in which Wanda Maximoff and Vision, 2 superpowered beings living idealized suburban lives, begin to suspect that everything is not as it seems. Marvel said in a press release on Monday. The series is directed by Matt Shakman with Jacques Schaffer as head writer. Composer is Christopher Beck, and the theme for certain episodes is by Christian Anderson Lopez and Robert Lopez. Now, featuring 9 episodes, WandaVision kicks off on Disney Plus on January 15th, 2021, unquote. I'm so looking forward to that because that show just looks, awesome. Now, another question to ask is, could this be the start of a run of Marvel sitcoms? At a press conference for WandaVision, Kevin Feige said, quote, "We'll see. This was our test run. Marvel has had a lot of good, successful TV in the past. This was Marvel Studios' first foray. The idea always was, yes, to do something that could not be done as a feature that plays with the format and plays with the medium. There were a lot of meetings before everyone understood what we were trying to go for. We're able to turn a wacky idea into a wackier show. It worked out perfectly that this is the debut of it on Disney Plus for the MCU." Unquote. Now, they also approached the shooting of the show as a kind of Twilight Zone episode, according to director Matt Shakman. She-Hulk will be much more like Peter David's run on the comic series. The series will be a half-hour legal comedy, according to Kevin Feige, the first for the Marvel brand. The show might also have more than 6 episodes that have been previously announced, because on Instagram, She-Hulk director Kat Coiro confirmed that she would direct and executive produce the pilot, the season finale, and 4 other episodes. So that brings us to 6, but fellow director Anu Vayali, in a separate post, said that she's doing a few episodes, which suggests closer to the 8 to 10 episodes run suggested by Kevin Feige for a Marvel Studios series. So, before we go out of the Marvel news here, let's take a quick rundown of the Marvel MCU shows and movies that are set to come out this year. First off is WandaVision on January 15th. The 6-episode Falcon and the Winter Soldier miniseries will hit on March 19th. The long-delayed Black Widow movie should finally debut on May 7th. Loki will hit Disney Plus in May. Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings is due to come out on July 9th. The What If series comes out sometime during the summer. Eternals is due out on November 5th. The Ms. Marvel series, the Hawkeye series are due out at the end of the year. And the 3rd Spider-Man movie should arrive on December 17th. So here's hoping that all that comes true. Now let's finish the show with some good old-fashioned geek news. And unfortunately, this is going to be a sad run of geek news. We start with the passing of animator of Beavis and Butthead and heavy metal, Doug Crane. Doug was a Clio Award-winning animator who had a 6-decade-long career in animation. He began animating in the 60s with such shows as The Mighty Hercules, Deputy Dog, Mighty Thor, and Spider-Man. He would go on to work on Challenge of the Super Friends, Godzilla, The Smurfs, He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, She-Ra, Princess of Power, Brave Star, Fish Police, The Pirates of Darkwater, and a ton of other shows. He also was a professor of animation at the School of Fine Arts for 15 years. He is survived by his 7 children and 15 grandchildren. Doug Crane passed away after a short battle with cancer. He was 85 years old. Also, tonight, we remember animator and storyboard director Tuck Tucker, who has also passed away. He started in animation at a young age, eventually moving to LA to pursue a career in animation. He started as a breakdown artist on the 1987 movie Pinocchio and the Emperor of the Night. Now, with Doug Crane, who we just mentioned, was also an animator on. He would go on to work on Alf, the TV series, Brave Star, The Simpsons, Rugrats, Ren and Stimpy, Two Stupid Dogs, Ah, Real Monsters, Duckman, Hey Arnold, SpongeBob SquarePants, Family Guy, The Fairly Odd Parents, Jimmy Neutron, and a ton of other shows. He also worked on animated movies like Disney's The Little Princess, Hey Arnold the movie, the SpongeBob SquarePants movie, the Bob's Burgers movie, which is doing theaters this year. He also taught graphic and animation design in 2015 at the Longwood University in Farmville, Virginia. In a tribute to Tuck, Hey Arnold creator Craig Bartlett wrote on Instagram, quote, "A great friend, a master draftsman, a tireless practical joker, a brilliant storyteller. The one I reached out to when I began Hey Arnold, because he was the best board guy I had ever met. I'll always remember him at his drawing board, arms blackened to the elbows with graphite, eraser shavings everywhere, bringing my characters to life. A killer work ethic, passionately into it. I'm so lucky I got to work with him for so many years," unquote. Tuck Tucker passed away on December 22nd. He was 59 years old. And from that tragedy to what might be another tragedy, I don't know how to feel about this next story. They're working on a Rubik's Cube movie. Yep. Hyde Park Entertainment Group and Endeavor Content are teaming up for this toy-based movie. Graham Taylor and Chris Rice, co-presidents of Endeavor Content, said in the announcement, quote, "The Rubik's Cube is an iconic and family-friendly brand. In partnership with Hyde Park, we're looking forward to creating film television, the game show content for global audiences." And unquote. Now, yeah, I don't know how to feel about this, really. Me, I'm just waiting for Tiddlywinks, the movie. So, I guess to each their own. Warner Brothers has given dates to 3 new movies for 2023. That's a theatrical release, not HBO Max, by the way. First, the Mad Max prequel Furiosa will come out on June 23rd, 2023. The Warner Brothers animated / live action movie Coyote vs. Acme releases on July 21st, 2023, and the musical version of The Color Purple rolls out on December 20th, 2023. Now, Furiosa will star Anna Taylor-Joy in the title role alongside Chris Hemsworth and Yahya Abdul-Mateen II. Coyote vs. Acme will see the Roadrunner's nemesis, the Coyote, taking on the Acme Corporation in a screenplay by James Gunn, Jeremy Slater, John Silberman, and Josh Silberman, and Sammy Birch. The Color Purple is, well, just as it is, a feature film version of the Tony-winning Broadway musical of the film by Steven Spielberg, which was based on the book by Alice Walker. The sequel to DreamWorks' The Boss Baby has been postponed. The Boss Baby family business is set to open on March 26, 2021, but will now come out on September 17th, 2021. Now that has kind of unseated DreamWorks animated movie Bad Guys, which will probably be moved to sometime in 2022. Actress Marion Ramsey has passed away. Marion might be best known for her character of Laverne Hooks in the Police Academy movies. Marion's career first began with guest star appearances on The Jeffersons in 1976. She also had a role on the 90s Addams Family Saturday morning cartoon show as D.I. Holler. She has also appeared on the Sci-Fi Channel's bad movie Lavalantula and its sequel To Lava to Lantula. She was 73 years old. And finally, or not finally, comic book artist Steve Lightley has passed away. The artist of such DC comics as Legion of Superheroes and Doom Patrol passed away on January 8th from cardiac arrest. Steve was a Kansas native and began his professional work in 1984 with a 5-page story in Black Diamond #4 from AC Comics. He then got work from DC Comics, his first 10-page story in New Talent Showcase #4, his work on Legion of Superheroes, saw the death of Karate Kid, and the creation of 2 new characters, Tellus and Quinzlet. All in all, his work ranges for over 40 issues of AC, DC, and Marvel Comics from the 80s, 90s, and 2000s. DC put a statement on Twitter saying, quote, "We're heartbroken by the passing of artist Steve Lightley. Not only did his work influence artists, writers, and readers, but those of us who were lucky enough to meet him had the added joy of finding out he was one of the kindest souls in comics. He will be deeply missed, unquote. We also, he passed away from cardiac arrest brought on by COVID-19. And actor John Riley has passed away. John was born in 1936 and began his acting career in 1966, acting in an episode of A Man Called Shenandoah. Though mainly a soap opera actor, he acted on such shows as The World Turns, General Hospital, and Passions. He also appeared in Kojak, Wonder Woman, The Incredible Hulk, The Love Boat, Quincy M.E., The Powers of Matthew Starr, Silver Spoons, and The Bionic Woman, and other shows of the 80s and 90s, and also provided the voice of Hawkeye in the 1994 Iron Man cartoon series. There's no word on how he died. John Riley passed away at 84. And finally, Bob's Burgers lead creator, character designer, Dave Creek, has died after a skydiving accident. Dave worked on Bob's Burgers since the show's start in 2011, and has also worked on animated series Central Park and Brickleberry, and the Peanuts special Happiness is a Warm Blanket, Charlie Brown. In a statement, 20th Television, Fox Entertainment, and Bento Box Entertainment said, "We are heartbroken at the tragic passing of Dave Creek, an extraordinary artist who has been with Bob's Burgers from day one. He is not just an incredible talent, but a beautiful person as well, and our hearts go out to his family, friends, all his colleagues at the show who loved him and are grieving today," unquote. Now, details about the accident haven't been forthcoming. He was 42 years old. And that brings us to the end of the comic book news. Now, be sure to check us out on social media. We're at Twitter at Multiverse Tom. We're also on Facebook and Instagram as well. And if you'd like to contribute some money to the show, please visit mtpodcast.com to go to the Coffee, Patreon, and Glow.fm links as well, or go over to multiversetonight.com and hit the Support Me link at the top of the page, and be sure to check out the marketplace links, the link to the TeePublic store, our show notes, and so much more. And if you're a subscriber, please be sure to share us with your friends. And if you're brand new to the show, please be sure to subscribe and give me some feedback. Let us know how we're doing. Now, special thanks to Shane Ivers for the intro music and Lobo Loco for the outro theme music. Now, please, I thank you for watching the comic book edition of Multiverse Tonight. We'll be back in just 2 weeks with a brand new sci-fi edition and a brand new comic book edition. Now, please exit the universe in an orderly fashion. Good night. Multiverse Tonight is a production of Half Big Genre Productions. Copyright 2021. All rights reserved.
Are you itching for a good story? Laughter among friends, maybe even a mystery or two? Well, you're in luck. Fire Breathing Kittens is a standalone Dungeons & Dragons podcast. Each episode is a separate 3-hour-long story, like a movie for your ears, so you can listen to these adventures in any order you like. So join us on a real play D&D quest as we solve mysteries, attempt comedic banter, and enjoy friendship. Fire Breathing Kittens podcast. Fantasy, action, mystery, friendship.
Well, that is the show for today. Looks like I might have a new follower. Excellent. Thanks for following. And if you're watching this later, please be sure to follow us. I usually record these every other week on Monday, starting around 1 o'clock. And I'd be happy for you to listen, or if you just want to listen to the podcast, I put those sci-fi edition out on Tuesdays, the comic book edition out on Fridays. So thank you for watching me today, and have a good day. And I'm going to have to cut that out at the end of the episode because I was still recording.